Alright. Let's see. Where's the game? There it is. Okay, so where were we? Where we last left off? Ah, yes. So last left off, we're in the main part of a Realm Reborn now, and our last stopping point was essentially getting to the first dungeon of the game, Sastasha, and we're also working on the Aesthetician quest and the Arcanist guild and Thautamurge. So probably what we're going to do is just going to finish up on the various class quests and the Aesthetician quest. Call that a night. You know what? I might do the dungeon, but I have to get Arcanist up to 15 for that, so let's get to work. Welcome back, Anarchy. It appears your coordination with the carbuncle is progressing at a satisfactory pace. Shall we test your growing acumen with a more practical examination? Our work at Melvan's Gate requires us to inspect and record the contents of incoming cargo. To simulate such a task, I had several crates transported to the south cliff of the Zephyr Gate. I want you to examine those crates and return the inspected cargo here to me. You'll be surprised at the depths to which some merchants will sink to deter our customs agents from performing thorough investigations. False bottoms, rotting foodstuffs, flesh-eating Valken. I suggest you be prepared for any eventuality. At some point I will be doing these background side quests, but I'm not worried about it. Some of them do tell interesting stories. It's middle. Yeah, it's middle. I need a carbon. Ah yes, these 2.0 graphics. I am out of it. Pray ignore my presence for the present, and allow me a moment to cogitate. The reaction to my sudden appearance was within expected parameters, but I must admit I did not expect so proficient a performance against the enemies set against you. Yet, effective though your tactics were, I spied much room for improvement. As I watched your battle, the wheels of my mind wheeled into motion as they are wont to do, inventing other possible strategies you might have employed. Let's see, taking into account your current level of ability, factoring in the etheric constant, multiplying by a number of opponents, and applying the tactics to other potential combat scenarios. Oh dear. My calculations indicate failure upon encountering threat level 9,785. Well, we'll have to see what we can do about that. Though the opportune window to do so has passed, I would nevertheless introduce myself. I am Clahia, a Melvin's Gate Assessor. Acting Guildmaster Thubergheim, These are worse than French names. Acting Gale Master Thautamurge, I'd like to meet to oversee your training and provide any necessary guidance and instruction in the field of Arcanist. From what I've observed thus far, you have an admirable grasp of the fundamentals. I do, however, wish to confirm one small detail. Regarding your choice of arcane geometries, what factor most influences your actions during battle? Potential for amusement. Just as I predicted. And now I have the final element needed to perform another calculation. Probability of you becoming an Arcanist is 90%. Give or take 0.5%. Yes, the certainty is quite high. After all, I only know of one other practitioner who responded to that question in the same manner. It was the man who bestowed me upon me this grimoire, the Guildmaster himself. While our inscrutable leader is, as I'm sure you've heard, on an indefinite leave of absence, he did leave us with his most notorious saying to date. Strategy is a tool used to manipulate one's situation to a desired reality. No matter how gifted you and I might be, however, the instantaneous manipulation of reality that might cause us to suddenly become mighty Arcanists is beyond our present abilities. Discipline and experiences is the finest strategy in this case. I suggest you continue to focus on finding your aptitude with Carbuncle. Mastery with the arcane entity will greatly improve your success as a wielder of the Arcanima. Here ends your lesson for today. Pray return directly to the guild. I believe Mistress Thautamurge is awaiting some inspected cargo. And what of myself? I'm off to the fields, of course. The tactics I reasoned out earlier must be attempted in real-life scenarios. Theory is all well and good, but there is no substitute for actual combat. We will meet again soon. Okay. See ya. Keep. Have you returned with the cargo? Yes, everything seems to be in order. Relatively clear of blood and other gore. That can be something of a problem in the profession, you understand. I also heard from Caster regarding your performance. She seemed eager to continue your training. An odd loss, I admit, but the guild can boast no finer mind for tactics. You would do well to heed the instructions she offers, particularly that which touches the diligent report of art. Did you perhaps notice the battered tome Caster carries? That initiates the grimoire server from the day she entered the guild. She has her reasons, but it's admittedly strange to see it kept all the way to present position as Force. I fear such an intense focus on Arcanima has led her to overlook her other important aspects of her life. As master strategist and guides your Arcanist training, I hope that you might return the favor and help broaden her own perspective somewhat. But enough such matters for the moment. You have done well this day, and continue your practice of Carbuncle as Caster has bid. I will be here when the time comes for your next lesson. Yes, Amkeep, the time for your next lesson is upon us. You are keeping well, I trust? Taking the occasional brisk walk? One cannot form sound thoughts if one fails to maintain a sound body. Now, assuming you have been following Caster's instructions, you should be ready to face more dangerous threats found in western Lanosea. Speak of rosings and wild jackals, and yes, I would have you vanquish 3 of each. This is the perfect sample size. The first acts as a preliminary test case, the second to test your hypothesis, the third to perfect the tactics you've devised. Speaking of which, I trust your strategy will consist more than simply running your ruin over and over again. You're not the novice you once were, and your skills in the field ought to reflect that. find yourself wanting for other approaches, consider an assault with ruin and tandem attacks from your carbuncle. When timed appropriately, you can deal a crippling blow to your components. Yeah, sure. Welcome back, Hound. I'm in a field of conquer such ferocious foes. Tedious and boring. Let us ride that wave of triumph over into an even more demanding and dangerous challenge. Next training exercise will have you accompanying Forcia Kalia on one for inspections. Experience will afford you an opportunity to witness firsthand the practical applications of Arcanist. Pray do not tarry, Hound. Kalia waits you on the floor below with further details. Seriously, kill quest for the sake of kill quest. Ugh. And yes, that's exactly what the hunt log is. But at least that provides decent experience for rapid leveling up to at least the dungeons. Which themselves are just one giant kill quest. A timely appearance as I expected. Shall we proceed directly on the job at hand? I've been tasked with examining the wares of a goblin peddler caravan run by the Boylstock's family. Our agents suspect these beastmen merchants dealing in forbidden goods. As such, I've calculated announcing the inspection evidence a 60% chance of inviting physical violence. I have prepared a strategy to respond to this possible shift into hostilities, but it is an important precondition you should be made aware of before we discuss the final points of my plan. Though I'm considered gifted in the formation of tactics, I lack the reflexes and coordination necessary to employ many of these self-same strategies on the field of battle. Pray keep this factor in mind and adjust your perceptions accordingly. Now, should the goblins offer battle, you have to execute Combat Plan 1345, otherwise known as Stratagem Focus Fire. You and your carbuncle will concentrate your attack on a single foe, and one by one, the enemy will wither under the combined onslaught. Probability of victory, 95%. Reports place the peddlers in the vicinity of the cookpot in Middle Nanosea. I will depart immediately to assess the situation, sneaking out once you arrive. And Forcia Kalia of Merian's Gate. You are to cease all transactions and surrender your goods for inspection. Nasty, sneaky peekers. Gobby spit up lander nosy eyes on stabby iron. Predictable aggressive response. Very well, I can't remember what we have discussed. And keep now. Execute Stratagem Focus Fire. No, I think I'll stand in Bomb Blast. It's more fun right now. There. Nicely done. Adaptation, improvisation. You might have been observing our beloved guildmaster himself in action. This was the perfect example of how strategy of a given task should be tailored for the abilities of a assessor. In other words, before you begin formulating your tactics, it is necessary to fully understand your own strengths and weaknesses. On that note, is another question I would ask you. When it comes to improving the probable success of a strategy, do you consider it more effective to concentrate on playing to your strengths or showing up your weaknesses? Yes. Whatever. Covering my weaknesses. Oh, again, you respond as the guildmaster once did. You must revise the possibility of a potential attain witness to 97%. You want to keep an eye on that much is certain. But to return to the subject of battle plans, your calculations must include an accurate assessment of your available techniques and their relative effectiveness. This requires that you be critically aware of your own limits, the limits of your abilities, and the characteristics of your enemies. I believe that covers everything for today. Please return to the guild and make your report to Mistress Thautamurge. Until next we meet. I shall bide here until the Yellow Jackets arrive to take the peddlers into custody. My strategies will keep me company. Back from the field, Anki. Today I contacted me with a summary of events. It seems you were treated to a lecture of knowingness. That lesson is ordinarily taught only to intermediate practitioners. Without sufficient store of combat experience from which to draw on, it is difficult to fully appreciate the profundity of such a seemingly simple truth. Nevertheless, I feel confident that you will soon be ready for a more ambitious assignment. Keep to your studies and maintain a razor edge of your mind. You seem tired, Anki. You're sleeping properly. One is reason you can suffer without sufficient rest and recuperation. Should you deem yourself ready, fit for duty, pray make your way down to the practice floor. Corsair Clea has requested you accompany her on another official inspection. There is, however, a requirement for your participation. Corsair will explain the situation. I was beginning to think I miscalculated, Anki. Thank you for coming. Oh, so people are trading vessels suspected of smuggling. All merchant ships make use of Limsa ports subject to inspection by Mailvan's gates assessors. It's a routine I perform daily. In the case of smugglers, however, there's a 75% probability of encountering resistance. Thus, I would appreciate you coming during this assignment. It is now we must discuss the requirement which you were informed. The full competency of martial experience, it is imperative that you first acquire the ability to summon Torbat's carbuncle. Such knowledge will be released to you contingent of accepting this duty. Very good. The arcane entity given form by the topaz geometry will further expand your offensive capabilities. With such an ally at your command, even the harshest of enemies will falter before you. And indeed, we could not conduct these dangerous spot inspections without its support. Please return to Mrs. Thautamurge and inform her of your participation. I will join you once I have completed some final adjustments of my tactical formulae. You have agreed to accompany the force here. Then I shall gladly instruct you in the use of Topaz Carbuncle. Pray do not hesitate to employ this entity in combat should you in the inspection turn south. The mercenaries of Geisvern and Astoda are here to assist with the inspection. Both hold hands when it comes to escorting Ikilia during her more dangerous duties. Well met, my spells are at your disposal. This won't be the first time we're expecting trouble, but as long as we follow the Four Seers tactics and a clear head, we'll come through just fine. The Morning Star is preparing to darken Ailport. We will meet our first challenge, however, before we even board the vessel. And it's almost a certainty that the merchant ship has hired a thug or two to ghost us at the pier. I calculate the probability at 98%. The crew wish to avoid attacking us on deck, you see, as that would all but trumpet their criminal intentions to the world at large. Now, once we do manage to clear the rails, we will face a deck crowded with armed sailors. For a small party such as ours, the most effective strategy would be to incapacitate individual foes as swiftly as possible. Each opponent we down is one less weapon raised against us. It is imperative that we do not allow ourselves to become tangled in multiple drawn-out skirmishes, lest we be overwhelmed. I call this stratagem Hammerfall. Strategy is a tool to use to manipulate one's situation to the desired reality. Keep these words in mind, Campkip. It is time we departed. Let's regroup before the main gates of Ailport. Let us be about our task. And get pray for the steersman at the pier that we are ready to conduct our inspection. Should violence be offered, we are to execute stratagem Hammerfall. Do not forget, your tactics have both your shield and your weapon. You're with the folks from Melvon's Gate? Hells, I knew there would be trouble. Certainly glad you can see you handle yourself. Find the landing boat just down here at the end of this ramp. I'll have no part of what comes next, though. Deftly handled, Benki. Once again, I'm reminded of our guildmaster. Thanks to your efficient response, we will be able to commence this inspection earlier than I had calculated. We shall board the merchant vessel out in the bay. Aristoda, if you would take the rudder, the Morning Star awaits. the welcoming party at the pier failed to deter us, I expect, with a probability of 85%, that our arrival will incite further belligerence. Our objective, however, is not to trade blows, but to gain access to the hold. It may behoove us to employ strategy hardhead. The aim to the opponents is to buy time so that the suspect goods may be tossed into the ocean. I do not intend to give them that time. We'll bowl our way towards the cargo hold as quickly as we can. It's a tactic fraught with risk, but one that your presence makes possible. Shall we begin? Yeah, let's do it. I am Forcia Kalia. By the authority of Melvan's Gate, I request you surrender your goods for assessment. Well, now, your timing can be worse, lass. The old door's all rusted up, you see. But anything won't open. You'll have to come back another day after we fix the hinges. I will see that cargo now. Any vessel entering port of Salamanca is bound by law to submit a routine inspection. Lads, I reckon it's time our guests had themselves a little accident. Pitch him over the side. So that looks so intimidating. Alright, massive display. Now, we can finally gain access to the cargo. Ooh! What have we here? Just one little bitch that Admiral Lapdog scampering about me ship. You're just like your mistress, always sticking your nose where it ain't invited. No, it can't be. Ah, recognize me, pretty face, did you? But you were caught, exiled. Force here, are you hurt? Can you stand? Stay back. You stay away from me. Force here, please calm down. What are your orders? I had enough of your work, and I've certainly had enough of these bloody books. It's clear you're looking for them. I reckon it's time you got a different kind of lesson. Ah! Clea! Nothing but the preserve us. She's fainted. We must withdraw. MK, quickly, back to the boat. We can carry the force here. Aye, that's right. You slink it back to your mistress, you worthless curs. Ha! I'm a terrible actor. We'll take care of Clea. You best return to the Arcanist Guild and report to Mrs. Thautamurge. It's good to see you well. Guy's friend sent word ahead of your travails. An unfortunate turn of events, but considering the infamous black heart you faced, you might have fared much worse. Have you heard of the pirate Thautamurge? He was exiled from Linsel and Minso some years ago, but it appears he has chosen to defy the Admiral's orders. Once more he dares lay a hand on Forcer Clea. Poor last month he had been terrified. If I know Thautamurge was aboard the ship, I never would have assigned her that duty. The assessor may require some time to recover. For Clea, that man is a nightmare made flesh. But her physical wounds will soon mend. There's little we can do to solve the hurt to her mind. You're concerned? Angry? Mayhap? Harness that energy and channel it into your training. I predict we shall be needing your skills again ere long. Looking for us. There we go. Keep a moment, if you please. Pray, allow me to shatter that urn. I thought if I assisted you with your task, then my brothers might finally deign to take me seriously, so I followed you. What have we got here then? A couple of nosy used sand rabbits that get about to get skinned. Oh dear gods, where did they come from? Thautamurge by our veterans. was simply incredible. I wish I could wield the same sort of power. I became an alchemist in the hopes of creating some manner of mana-amplifying elixir, but my efforts have been for naught. The results have been far too mild to make any difference. I'll never be a thaumaturge like my brothers at this rate. I'll forever be a pitiful, powerless little sibling. Mormo's urn. If I destroy it, maybe the family will see that I'm capable of... Wait! Don't you dare break my urn! Ah! What... Did that piece of powder just talk? Are you Mormo the Void Set? Well, yes, I am Mormo. Well, I'm one of the nice Void Set. It was all the nasty ones that sealed me up in here for helping immortal. If you'd be so kind as to open the lid of my urn, I would be happy to grant you a wish. Anything you desire. Fortune? Fame? I'm not really interested in fame or fortune. Perhaps there is one thing. I'd like to have the etheric powers equal that of my brothers. A power isn't. A perfectly acceptable wish. In fact, I sense a latent ability buried deep within your spirit. It will be a simple thing for me to turn it loose. What more is there to think about? Open the lid! I wouldn't do that if I were you. Well, I don't feel any different at all. Maybe Mormo might have been lying. Come on, Kip. It's time we'll be leaving. Oh, weren't we supposed to break this urn? And that is that. Yes, this will be such fun. I mean, it'd be nice to return home after all this excitement. Boy. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you making a habit of not dying. Before we discuss your trial further, however, I would ask about Kobabushi. When I saw him a few minutes ago, he seemed odd. Well, odder than usual. Would you happen to know odd of it? He joined me on my trial. Boosie was at your trial! It is extremely dangerous and foolish to interfere in a Thautamurge's training. I shall have to scold him most heartily. Such unpleasantness aside, I'm impressed that you claim victory in spite of this unexpected development. The teaching of the Yawning Abyss has served you well. With your experience and control thus demonstrated, I believe you're ready to add new spells to your repertoire. Scathe. This elementary neutral blast of force will prove effective against all manner of opponents. I'm sure you're eager to test this incantation's efficacy. I shall grant you leave to return to your training. I pity the next hostile creature that crosses your path. What? Oh, that's right. And keep you safe. I feared you'd fallen victim to the Mage Slayer. Have you not heard of this recent spate of gruesome killings taking place within Undal? Each case involves at least one dead Thautamurge, and every corpse is found bloody, battered, and utterly drained of etheric energy. Ill tendings aside, I'm glad to see you alive and growing with vitality. It is time for you to delve into the final chapter of the Yawning Abyss. Kukaboha, our second youngest sibling, will read to you from this thread of perplexity. Greetings, Endkeeper. You are once more prepared to pursue the pages of power and peril. Let us begin. The thread of perplexity. Ah, how magnificent the daunting power we wield. Flames pursue, the ice transfixes, and lightning dances into the ranks of our enemies. But what terror descends when, from all sides, those ranks close. Flames are smothered, ice crushed, and lightning grounded. Know you this threat, and wear you this multitudinous flowing foe. Is the point of this passage readily apparent? It will be most problematic, for example, should you meet this maleficent Mage Slayer and he or she proves to be multiple murderers. What Thaumaturge needs is the thickest thrall, or a courageous companion to accompany in cases when collective cronies are expected. Now, as for your trial, Kukabuha, pray allow me to suggest a practical course for Amkip's training. Town is buzzing with news of yet more slaughtered Thaumaturges. The mutilated bodies found fouling the waters of Nophica's wells. I would have Amkip aid me in hunting down the culprit while the trail is yet fresh. Amkip may have tolerated your interruption in his trial last time, but Lucy, but you're hardly the hardy henchman he needs to cure such hazardous hurdle. Your concerns are understandable, brother. If it would allow your fears, I can introduce Akabel to a valiant warrior who recently entered my employ. You have secured the services of a stalwart swordsman. Then that would indeed be in line with learning the lesson of the day. Perhaps. Come now, Amkip. Let us hear about our business for a couple of hours, a change of heart. I'll be waiting for you in Nophica's wells. Was that Kokobusi? MQ, so good of you to come. My Rogadin friend here is the warrior I mentioned back at the ossuary. Now, there's no time to waste. Why don't you head into the stream and examine the bodies of the dead slain mages? I would go with you, but with my delicate stomach, I fear I might contaminate the scene. Remember, you're looking for anything that might help us track down this killer. Did you uncover anything incriminating? Yeah, the blood is slick to the touch. The slaughter must have been recent indeed. The villain may yet linger by. Return to the creek where the bodies lay and linger for a time. I dare say your aura, associated as it is with an enticing etheric energy, will lure the mage slayer into the open. Have courage, Upkeep. Our burly companion stands ready to leap to your aid. I'll keep you busy. You just focus on magic. Bastards got some nice spells. Stay back. Go back here. With the bigger barrel, honestly, I can't take all the seems your partnership with the Hired Blade went splendidly. It's unfortunate that one of the ends was able to flutter away. Oh? Did you not notice? You wouldn't wish to report to Kokobaha that your travel was about half finished, would you? Of course not. I'm afraid, however, that the Rogan has already collected his documents and departed to the nearest alehouse. What to do? What to do? Surely a Thautamurge of your caliber can handle a single imp, yes? I'm going to take a flight into that little cave over there. Hurry now before it slips into some hidden nook or cranny. That is not Kokobushi. Well, it is Kokobushi, but a Kokobushi possessed by a void scent that escaped from Mormo's urn. It was feeding on the etheric energy from those slain Thautamurges. And you, my dear man-rich MK, were to be next. I wanted to absorb your delicious power since the moment we met. Pity. Such an amusing charade. However did you see through it? I am Kokobushi's brother. How could I not? It is time I destroyed you, Mormo, and put a stop to these sinister killings. As the eldest, I must take responsibility for my family's misadventures. Like a coward like you? Destroy me? Your opening strike should have been pierced my heart, but instead you aimed for me with a knife. Fear stays your hand, and fear that I was slaying me will also slay your sibling. Poor, spineless Thautamurge. I shall, however, leave you with a pleasant thought. It was Kokobushi's fervent wish to amass his power. He craved the arcane strength to absorb and stand before his brothers as equal. What a shame he must now stand against you. It pains to me to admit it, but there's some truth to the creature's words. I surrendered the perfect opportunity to end this. I betrayed my own teachings. Return to the ossuary and report to the completion of your trial. I will remain here for a time and gather my thoughts. Kokoboki has arrived to your adventures. It seems that Mage Slayer slithered away, but your stint with the swordsman was nonetheless successful. Until this chapter complete, your time with our tome of teachings is at an end. Well, to be absolutely accurate, there is an addendum with additional advice, but Kokobuki considers it extracurricular. Even I dare not delve into those diabolical depths. I'm not yet dying to die, you understand. I've yet to inform my brothers of Kokobushi's misfortune. I've yet to reconcile the maelstrom within my own mind. The most fundamental lessons of Thautamurge demand I slay the creature where it stood. It was the most opportune moment to strike. Minimal risk and victory are all but assured. How many will suffer from my hesitation, my cowardice? Will likely be some time, however, before more and more resurfaces to kill again. Now we've recovered the deception. The Void Sentinel will seek new hunting ground where Kokobu's face is unknown. No little respect might be brief. I must devote this time to concerning the next course of action. Pray lead me to my musings, Anki. Oh, fort. I cannot wait till... $11... 16, alright. Okay. Next will be the actual main story quest and the dungeon Sastasha. But we got Arcanist up to 16 and Thautamurge up to 20, almost 21. All right.